Okay, I think we're recording now. Okay, so hey everybody, I canceled our team call. Oops, let me go back. In terms of being on there live, and forgive how dark it is in here. We're adjusting with life with a 7-year-old, so just trying to keep everything like down and low key so she can have her rest time. Anyway, so I know there's a lot going on right now. My heart goes out to everyone. I know some people are losing jobs, some people are facing financial hardship. Um, some people fear for their health, and my heart goes out to everyone. Hopefully you're finding peace, and I would just suggest surrounding yourself with good people in your online world, and make sure the messaging that's going in your head is good and helpful and not panic driven. So anyway, tonight I want to talk to you about this. Okay, so first of all, what really got me thinking about this was people are on their social media now more than ever because many people are working from home now, which means no one's looking over their shoulder to see if they're on social media or not. And so since we are online and that's where our business is, we have an obligation, a duty, and an honor to show up in that space. And getting to know more new people. So I want to talk about having authentic conversation and converting that to a new member of our Fit Fam or a new member of our team. And there's a way to do that without being totally yucky and without having ill intentions while creating these relationships. So just remember, people are online more than ever right now, and people are desperately seeking help. And many don't even know it. They're seeking for the thing that's going to make them feel better in this time of turmoil. And like, if we were alcohol salespeople or something, we might skyrocket. But luckily, just as many people are understanding that now they can take care of their health. They have a bit more time than they had before, even if they're worried about money or something. Many people know that right now is a time to invest in what's going to be a long-term payoff, and that is their health. So I'm going to walk through the steps, and I'm just going to go as quickly as I can through this. Oh, goodness. Okay, so step one is grow your network. That means you need to find your tribe. This one is hard because we think we can just go online and post something with hashtags and people are going to find us. Unfortunately, it's not that way. I wish it was. Oh, how I wish it was. But it's not. So what you need to do is figure out how to find your people and get them engaging with you. And what I mean by your people is not just your people who'd be awesome on your team, because that's great, but like, who are the people that you want to surround yourself with on the internet? I think we super underestimate how much it affects us to have people in our newsfeed, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or what have you, who are negative versus positive. Like, I was talking to one of my friends this morning while we were running, and she was talking about the type of content she's seeing pop up on her Facebook and pop up on her Instagram. And she just cannot believe how nasty people are. And I was like, that is so weird because I don't have that problem at all. Like, I don't see anyone being nasty or cruel or mean or anything. I see funny things and I see uplifting things, and that's it. And we were just talking about how different that is, and that it's not just enough that our friends we have in real life are good people, but who we surround ourselves with online is really important too. Whether or not they ever join our groups, whether or not they ever join our team, still to be surrounding yourself with good people is always important, and they'll appreciate your content as well. So grow your network. Like, comment, and follow on Instagram. So one thing that I do is I find bigger accounts where they're not related to fitness, they're not related to health, because those are kind of like saturated with coaches and other fitness people. But it can be like a huge page for foster care. There are a couple of them. I have one that I follow where it's a girl who she's really great at doing hair, and she's built a following from being known as like the hairstyle girl. And she posts about lots of other things, motherhood and single parenting, just things that I totally relate with. And she's a Christian. So, you find a few big accounts where you're like, dude, I totally, totally vibe with this person. They're not really posting about like fitness and all that stuff. Maybe they are once in a while, but it's not like their main thing. But I feel like my people might also like this person. One thing I do caution against, if it's too big of a name, like you might feel like you vibe with a celebrity like Jennifer Aniston or something, but she's still gonna have lots of followers who are like maybe a little bit iffy and not really niched down. And so you want to find someone who's maybe a little bit more niched down. They may have 200 to 500,000 followers. Or even less. They may have 50 to 200,000 followers. So like a bigger account that's a lot bigger than yours, etc. You get it. So what I do is I go and look on who's engaging on that person's posts. So someone commented or someone liked on their most recent post or one of their 3 most recent posts. I know that that's someone who's on social media. They like stuff that I like, especially if they're commenting. I like to read their comments and get a feel for the type of person they are. And then I go click on their page, and if they're public, then I'm liking and I'm commenting and I'm following that person, because I'm like, yep, that person is my person. Like I want, whether or not this person ever joins my team or needs my fitness help, I would want this person in my news feed. And that's how I kind of make my decision. So that's one way to start growing your network. Sometimes if you hashtag stories or hashtag your posts, then you'll notice there are going to be a not usually a lot, but a few new people who are watching those stories, and then you can go either watch theirs or say thanks for, which we'll get to that next, say thanks for watching my stories, like how did you find it, or do you have this in common with me? But otherwise, I would just go to their page and like and comment on some of their stuff as well. And if I really like them, I follow them. If I'm kind of like, I'm not sure, I'm not sure yet, like I don't feel like there's enough posts here or enough content for me to really see, like I'll just still like and comment and whatever and see what happens. On Facebook, I go through my suggested because it's actually done a pretty good job of seeing like who are people that I would vibe with. But also if you're a part of groups, like I'm a part of Minnesota hiking group and I have a few friends from that on Facebook. And then if you go to like one of your friends, you can go to their friends of friends and add people on there that either look really cool or from somewhere else or whatever. And again, we're not doing this because we're like, ooh, I'm going to get them in my team someday. It's like, I'm doing this because I know the more eyes that are on my content, the more people I can help. The more people that are in my feed, the more people that are watching my stuff, like just overall, the more people you can help, but also the more influence you can have just by being you. So it's not all about making a sale, although we'll get to that part. Okay, step 2, if it'll let me. Okay, say hi. Okay, so now you've commented, liked, followed, etc. The next thing you want to do is say hi, and please do not overcomplicate this. So if someone new follows you on Instagram, say hi. Especially if it was like someone that you followed, they followed you back, or a new friend, or someone who watched your stories or liked your post, just say hi. So I have a couple of scripts here. Feel free to write them down, make them your own words and use them, but do not overcomplicate this step. You're just saying hi like you would to someone who showed up I always think running because I have like running groups. So if someone showed up in my running group who I've never met before, I would say hi, like, how are you doing? It's so awesome that we have running in common. I hope that we have a good run, or like at the end of it, hope you have a beautiful day. Like I'm not overcomplicating saying hi to someone new. I don't in real life, and I am not going to online either. Especially if they liked your story or liked your post or watched your story. I like this question. Are you having fun on your health and fitness journey too? Have a beautiful day. Like I'm literally just like asking them that question because people like to talk about it. If they're having a great time, they want to tell you all about it, just like I want to tell people all about my Beachbody programs. If they're having a miserable time, some people will offer that information right away and say, oh, I wish I was. I used to, like, I get this a lot, like, I used to blah, 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 but like this has been happening and I really wish I was. And then like, that's easy because that opens a door to an invite. Like, oh my gosh, relate to them. Like, I totally understand. I remember feeling that way. And that's why I do what I do. I actually have openings in my virtual boot camp. Is that something you're interested in hearing more about? You can just engage that very naturally. But if they don't offer any of that information and they just say hi or they don't or whatever, that's okay. We'll get to that. So step 2 is just say hi and don't make it complicated or weird. Just make their day by saying hey. Step 3 is engage. So show genuine interest in who they are. If they say hi back, and many people don't, and it's not because they think you're icky, it's because they're checking their DMs while they're waiting in line at the grocery store. They're checking their DMs while their kids are in the room and they just can't respond back, and then they forget to respond back. I have it happen all the time where like the third time I reach out and say hi to someone, they're finally like, girl, I'm so sorry. Like I never checked these messages at the right time. And that's okay. Like, I'm just not offended by it. If you're not looking so much for the outcome that you wish would happen, which is like they fall in love with you and want to do your fitness programs, then you're okay with no answers. You're okay with if they're short with you when they reply back. You're okay with all of it because you know that at the end of the day, you're here just helping people and wanting to be a light. But anyway, back and forth conversation is great. I love back and forth conversation. I am like a master at it, almost too much. And so you just want to be like, if they say, hey, back or whatever, and like if you said, oh, I see that you're a mom too, that's awesome. How old are your kids or something? And they respond back with like, oh, yeah, I have 3 kids. They're this age, and this age. Relate to that. Like maybe your kids aren't that old yet, or you don't have kids or whatever it is, but like maybe it's like, oh, my kids are still young. I'm really dreading that. Like, do you have any good advice for when they get to be that age? Or like, oh yeah, I remember that phase. 2 years old is so hard, but it really does go fast. You got this. Are you taking care of you during this time? That's one question I ask that kind of like coaxes it out of people. I'll say, are you getting enough me time during this time? Because I know how hard it is to be a parent, or I know how hard it is to be stuck at home with all your kids. A lot of people are in that, right? Just have that back and forth conversation. Or if they don't respond back to that conversation, if they're not responding to you, maybe you're left on red. They saw it and they didn't say anything. Remember, most often they were in the middle of something else when they saw their DMs, and they were like, I'll reply back to that later, or it's not a big deal if I don't reply back, she's just saying hi. So if they don't, then go back. So like once a week I go back through my DMs and I just see who I was like trying to talk to, or like our conversation died off. And before I go back into that conversation and say something again, I'll go to their page. And if they've posted, I read their posts. I get more of an understanding of who they are. I like and comment. And remember that all of this, everything that we do is actually about them, not about you or me. Like it's not about us, it's about them. And so if we're just understanding that sometimes this takes some patience and it may be a week before, you get to the invite. For me, like it's usually not a week if I'm being really on top of this. But it does take some intentionality because no one likes being a number. No one likes being pushed for a sale. And no one likes feeling like they're just being used. And so we want to make sure we're not doing that. At the same time, we want to make sure we are getting to the point, because I'll get to that. But remember, it's about them and not about you. So back and forth conversation is important. Don't let it go more than 24 hours before you reply, please, because that shows people that you're too busy to make them important. But again, if they don't reply back at some point within the first few days that you've talked to them or sent a hey message, go and read their post, get an understanding of who they are, like and comment, because you want to feel like you know this person. Okay, step 4, transition to an invite. By the way, I just want to point out that for all of the people on this team, it would be almost embarrassing to go back and look and see how many messages I sent you before you replied back, or how many times I invited you before you said yes. But I was just like, I love this person, and they're like watching all my stories, so they must think something about what I do is intriguing. Like I want them in my tribe, and until they say no, I'm just gonna keep asking. Like, and it wasn't for any like, I just want a Success Club point, I just want a sale. It was like literally, I just really like this person, and some way, shape, or form I feel like they're meant to be a part of my tribe. And here you are. So remember that process, that it can take some time for some people. Okay, so transition to an invite. Here's the thing. If you determine it's in their best interest, meaning it's not out of nowhere, you've identified a point that you can relate with them about in terms of motherhood, life phase, busy at work, on the road a lot, have a demanding job, any other thing, a hobby, anything. Um, Once you figure out who they are and that, like, yes, like, I know that because we have these similarities and how much I love this, whether it's boot camp or coaching, I know they'll love it. And you have to have that confidence going into it. I know that they'll love it. I know that they'll benefit from this. I know that their life will be better if they have Beachbody programs in their life or if they have us in their life versus if they never do. And that's how I always look at it. I'm like, you know what? If I annoy somebody for a hot minute because I'm just being genuine and I'm inviting them or whatever, and they say no, like, that makes me a little bit sad because I know they would love this if they join. Like, even if they only use the app once a week or something, it would still be so great for them. But if they do eventually come around and say yes, I know how thankful that person and I are both going to be because I kept inviting. Not annoyingly. I come around to it once every 4 to 6 weeks if they don't say, like, heck no, girl, leave me alone. Let's talk about something else. Or I'm already good. Thanks so much. Right? Okay. So anyway, most often if you're in conversation back and forth with somebody, they're seeing your stories. Do you ever notice that when you're talking to somebody in DMs, especially, or on Facebook, they're watching your stories because that's just how it works. Like, you're in conversation, and so Instagram or Facebook show people your content. So, thank them for viewing your stories or liking your posts, and invite them. I've given you a million scripts like this before, but like, hey, Angie, thank you so much for watching my stories again. Hopefully it's somewhat helpful at least. I was just wondering if this time around it works for you to be in my virtual boot camp. We're talking about Season of Strong right now because we truly believe that we're all going to come out of this stronger than we were before. Does that sound interesting to you? Or are you open to more information about that? Just a simple invite. And like, no worries if not. So no worries if not. I would love to keep connecting either way. I've been adding that at the end of my invites because I just want people to know that, like, that's not the only reason I'm talking to them. It just isn't. Like, honestly, it's not. For some people, what God brought them into my life for was so that eventually they could tell me what they need prayer for or something like that. Anyway, if they're not viewing your stories or liking your posts, but you've had a little bit of back and forth conversation, or you've at least been engaging on each other's posts, find those things you've had in common, relate, and invite. So for me, it's something like, I know how crazy it is for us moms. Like, I'll just even go even more specific for us foster moms, because we're caring for so much, especially with kids from trauma. And I just know what it means to me to have that workout to look forward to every single day. I have spots open in my Season of Strong boot camp. Is that something that interests you, or does that sound like something you might need too? No worries if not. I just like taking care of my fellow foster moms. Would love to keep connecting either way. So you see how I just like make it so natural. Like, I just want people to know I'm genuine. I'm there for them. I truly believe this will benefit them. But if they're like not making that decision, it's cool. I still want to be their virtual friend, you know? Okay. So here's the thing. Most of the time after you invite once, people don't say yes. They either say no, or they straight up ignore it, or just like when you said hi the first time, they checked it while they were in line at the grocery store or whatever they were doing, and they need time to think about it, and so they couldn't respond right away. They're like, I don't know, maybe I feel like I should just go to the gym since I have a membership, but like da-da-da, and they're thinking about this and they don't respond. So our job, and the way I make almost every single sale, is in the follow-up. Being salesy means that I invite them once and I never talk to them again, because even though you're doing it because maybe you're embarrassed or shy or whatever because you invited them and they didn't say anything, and now you're like, oh my gosh, what do they think about me? Do they hate me now? Like, you might be thinking that, but they're thinking, yep, see, just what I thought. They invited me, and then they never liked another one of my posts, and they never talked to me again, blah, 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 blah. So following up shows that you remember them, that they're important to you, and that you notice that they're there. So like, hey, Ashley, not sure if you saw my last message. I hope it was okay to ask. I just love what I do so much, and it's my greatest joy to have people alongside me. Totally no worries if you're not interested. Like I said, I love connecting either way. You guys, would you ever be offended at that follow-up message? I mean, if you would, I guess, I I guess I have no idea why you would. That's just a follow-up message. And then if they still don't respond to that, then maybe the next month when they show up in your follow-up list, or you notice they're still watching your stories, you can just be like, hey, I saw your post with you and your fiance. That's so exciting that you're engaged. How is that going? Like, you're being a human. They're in your feed, or you're Facebook friends with them or whatever. And so you're just being human. I liked what someone said on a call one time, that they're like, if someone gets mad at me for talking to them, social media literally is supposed to be social. So if they're not there for that, they're on for the wrong reasons. Like, if they're not there to be social, then whatever, like, they can be offended and I don't care, because I'm on here to be social. And I was like, that's such a good relieving point, because some people might get offended. I've had shiesty people in the past, and I'm just like, I'm sorry that I reached out when you were watching all of my stories and my posts. I'm not sorry, because I'm being social. That's what I'm doing. So anyway, follow up. That's the whole point. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, because raise your hand if it took me at least 7 times being in your DMs for you to say yes to be here. And think about if I hadn't done that, and you didn't have these fitness programs, and you didn't have some of the uplifting content that you get, and you didn't have people to turn to and ask for all the stuff. Like, just think about that. You don't want to let other people down. They don't even know how much they need us yet, or how much their lives are going to be enriched. And we have to be following up. Okay, close the sale. So this is one thing that people get uncomfortable with closing the sale. But you know what? Sales, as we've said before, it's just an exchange of trust. It's saying, okay, Cherie, I'm whoever from Instagram. Like, I'm Brittany from Instagram, and I'm giving you my money because I trust that you will take care of me. And I'm saying, okay, Brittany from Instagram, I see you joining me, you're paying me money, and I'm trusting that you are going to show up for your fitness journey, and I'm going to do everything I can to show that I'm trustworthy of that. So it's an exchange of trust. That's all a sale is. It's money where your mouth is. And for us, if we're receiving the commission from that, then it's us over delivering. And I'll talk about that next. So this is how it kind of goes for me anyway. So you've already you've invited, you followed up. They said, sure, I'll take some info. You send them info about the boot camp. You can type something up if you want. You can ask me if you want some, my scripts I've shared, I know, with at least a couple people on here. You can find one of, if you search Courtney Sohn with Strength on her YouTube page, she has a few resources she made for coaches to use, like what is a boot camp and things like that. You could send a short little video. In the Coach Online office, there are also short little videos about what do you get with the challenge pack. And then I just let people know, because it tells basically what Beachbody On Demand plus Shakeology challenge pack is. So I say, hey, this gives you the basic rundown of it, but this month it's super exciting because you can also, on top of everything mentioned here, get the brand new boxing program we have, plus some goodies that come with that. And you can do either Shakeology or the supplements based on what we figure out that you need. So yeah, you send them info, you follow up, because a lot of people will get the information and then they forget to look at it. And this is the hardest part of our job. Honestly, to me it is. It's the hardest part. It's I have to keep reminding people. But here's the thing. I'm showing people what type of coach I am during this process. Do I forget you? No. Do I give up on you? No. Do I believe in you? Yes. Do I believe that you will benefit from being a part of this? Yes. And so they're getting an idea for who I am in this process, because then when they are signed up, they know that with Cherie, they're getting someone who is not forgetting about them, who's checking in with them, and who will be there almost knowingly so, but that's the type of coach you want. So once they're like, yes, I want in, this looks amazing, or yeah, I think that I'm ready, whatever answer they give you, you send them a share a cart. So it's shareacart.teambeachbody.com. You log in with your info first. You need to get their email and their shake preference before you can send the share a cart, but that you learn that process as you keep going. Okay. Send the share cart and give them, like if you sent it in the morning and they haven't purchased by evening, you can send a follow-up. If you sent it midday or evening and it's been 24 hours, send them a follow-up message. Hey, I sent you the share cart. Did you see it? Like usually I send the share cart, then in DMs or email, I say, hey, I sent this to you. And then if they don't sign up, then within 24 hours, I'm following up and saying, hey, just wondering, did you have more questions or did you just need more time to get to sign up? Just making sure that this goes through so you can be a part of the, like in March, I'm going to be like, you can be a part of this boxing promotion and get this super cheap price. When they sign up, you welcome them via email. You can type up an email template and save it in your Google Drive or wherever. That's what I do. Send them an email welcoming them, be super excited, tell them, you know, what they're going to be, what to expect. In the Coach Back office, there is a how to use BOD video. It's in like shareable tools and media under Beachbody on Demand. And it says like how to navigate BOD or something like that. So I send that in their welcome email so that they can get started with their Beachbody on Demand right away. And then add them to the challenge tracker. So this is all part of closing the sales. Like you send them info, you follow up, send a share cart, follow up, and they finally are there. You welcome them, you add to challenge tracker. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is. This whole process can be done in just a few minutes each time you're contacting people. All right, wait, did I do step 7? I don't know, you guys. I can't count. Anyway, serve. I don't know why this picture is here. I was trying to find a different one. It's going to bother me. But anyway, there's a computer there, so, you know, you're serving. Now they're your tribe. So encourage them in the My Challenge Tracker group. Check in via email. Once a week, I just have a reminder on my phone pop up that says, hey, send a mass email to everyone checking in. A lot of people don't respond, but that's okay. They know I'm there because I'm in their inbox. Some people may want to text you. For people who are showing up in the challenge tracker group, I give that option because I want, before they're overwhelming me with texts about like all the questions before they're even getting started, I really want them to just email me so I have some boundaries on that. But once they're showing up in the My Challenge Tracker group, or if they're a personal friend of mine, they can text me with any questions that they have, anything that comes up along the way, because I want them to know I'm there for them. And I do always tell them, hey, if I am not able to respond via text at this point, or at some point, I will when I have my next business hours. So they know that I'm not just on call 24/7, but if a text is there, when I have time to work my business, I will respond to it. Okay, so another thing with serving is notice if they keep ordering Shakeology or their supplements, and then offer them the coach discount, because even if they're not in this for the business, and you can mention to them that they would be awesome at it and that they could get their Shakeology covered every month if they just help 3 people a month, actually like 2.5, whatever, and they wouldn't even have to grow a team, they just help people. But even if they just get it for the discount, they're still, even after the $15.95 business fee per month, they're still saving about $20 a month on Shakeology besides that, because they're on HD. And they get the 25% discount. So it's such a good idea. Recognize them when they finish a program. Just like shout them out in a text or on your Instagram, or however you want to do that, and just be the light. At the end of the day, I think that's all I have yet. At the end of the day, they signed up with you because there's something they know and like and trust about you. And so you want to just be the light, even if they're not engaging with you a lot, even if they're not showing up in My Challenge Tracker, even if they're not responding to your emails. Never underestimate the power of your influence by you just being you. So once you get people to this point, just serve them and be the person that you've always been, which is like a good person, someone who's consistent, someone who's showing up, someone who cares about people. And people feel that even if they're like quiet on the sidelines a little bit, you know? So, anyway, if you need to go back and take notes or pause this video or anything like that, just so you know, this is the process. And it sounds a lot longer and more complicated than it is, but I just wanted to break this down for you so you can see how it all spreads and plays out. Like, it's like, say hello, get to know them and engage with them. If there's going to be some point where you have to transition that conversation, it should be sooner than later. Don't drag it out and become BFFs with them and then feel like you can never invite them, because like then they're just going to think that you're just in it for the sale. Like, be a business person. You care about people on social media. They are viewing your content, which means they walked in your door. They're already looking into your business in some way, shape, or form if they're in your stories or liking your posts, okay? And so all you're doing is asking them, how can you serve them best? Which truly is being a part of your boot camp or a part of your team, because you will be the closest with and you will be serving those people the best. That is the best way for them to get the best part of you. And so that's why you want them as a part of all of this. So any questions, just comment below on this video. Or you can text me or whatever, but hopefully this gives you confidence to just go out there and have all these conversations, because people are on social media now more than ever, and they need us now more than ever. It is not too late to hit Success Club. I hope you do. I pray you do. 3 people in your boot camp, 3 members of your Fit family in a week, girl. Boy, you got this. Actually, it's like 9 days. Totally got this, okay? So let me know how I can help, and have a good rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. Love you, team.